So let's start here, because something truly insane is happening over in the OVO camp right now. After months of silence, lawsuits, and one embarrassing PR disaster after another, Drake's team has apparently found their next big defense strategy. No, it's not new music. No, it's not Drake finally addressing his career freefall. Instead, OVO insiders have now launched a quiet, yet completely ridiculous, rumor campaign trying to convince people that Kendrick Lamar didn't even write Not Like Us. After getting publicly dismantled in one of the most humiliating beefs hip-hop has ever seen, Drake's solution is to pretend the man who buried him isn't even responsible for his own masterpiece. It's desperation disguised as delusion. And the timing couldn't be more telling, because after Drake's lawsuit loss, declining tour numbers, and total fan fatigue, this narrative feels less like damage control and more like a last-ditch cry for help. But here's the thing. The moment this rumor left OVO's circle, hip-hop didn't just ignore it. It exploded, and what happened next only made Drake look even worse. Before we go further, support me by liking this video and subscribing to this channel if you're new. It helps me a lot. The rumors started subtly, whispers from fan pages, cryptic comments under old posts, and OVO affiliates liking certain tweets hinting that some ghostwriter helped Kendrick cook up Not Like Us. At first, it looked like typical stan drama. But within hours, certain Toronto-based pages began circulating the same insider claims, suggesting that Top Dog Entertainment secretly brought in uncredited help for the record. Of course, there was no proof. No name, no receipts, just the same vague tactic Drake's circle always uses when they're cornered. You see, this isn't new behavior for Drake. Every time he's been exposed, he tries to project the same weakness onto his rival. When Pusha T exposed his hidden child, Drake accused Pusha of crossing boundaries. When Meek Mill called him out for ghostwriting, Drake tried to weaponize memes and popularity to deflect the truth. And now, after losing to Kendrick Lamar in every measurable way, from lyrics to sales to culture, he's resorting to rewriting history. This new rumor is basically OVO saying, if we can't beat him, let's convince people he didn't actually win. But what they didn't expect was how fast this lie would collapse. The moment the rumors started spreading, hip-hop fans and insiders were ready. Within minutes, social media was filled with people clowning OVO for trying to gaslight the entire culture. One fan posted, "So Kendrick wrote 5 disses, destroyed Drake in each one, and now suddenly he didn't write the one that went #1 for weeks? Make it make sense." Another wrote, "OVO's trying to fight public humiliation with fan fiction." But it wasn't just fans. Even people in the industry, producers, engineers, even journalists, came forward to shut it down. They reminded everyone that Kendrick's songwriting has always been a point of pride. He's literally won Pulitzer Prizes for his pen. His creative control is legendary. And that's when the conspiracy fully backfired. Because instead of making people doubt Kendrick, it made everyone remember why he's untouchable in the first place. Let's be honest, Drake's behavior lately has gone from calculated to chaotic. He's lost lawsuits. His name is tied to scandals he can't PR his way out of. His tour sales are dipping. And every new move feels like an act of emotional damage control. So when OVO insiders push these conspiracies, it's not strategy, it's survival. It's Drake clinging to any narrative that makes him feel less defeated. He's trying to turn paranoia into power. He wants fans to think there's still some hidden angle, some plot twist that will explain why the biggest pop rap artist of his generation got lyrically executed in front of millions. But there's no twist. The truth is simple. Kendrick beat him clean. And instead of taking the loss like a man, Drake is now building an alternate universe where losing is somehow a conspiracy. This is what Desperation sounds like. Not in the music, but in the silence between the releases. Drake's been quiet for a reason. He's run out of narratives that make him look like the victim. And here's where it gets almost poetic. Because the entire OVO conspiracy about Kendrick not writing Not Like Us only reminds people of Drake's own ghostwriting scandals. It's literally the worst narrative he could have chosen to play with. Let's rewind for a second. The Meek Mill beef wasn't about bravado or disses. It was about authenticity, Meek accused Drake of using Quentin Miller to write his verses, and the entire industry exploded. Drake survived that controversy not because he disproved it, but because he drowned it out with hits. But now, that strategy doesn't work. Streaming manipulation, bundles, and TikTok songs can't cover up what the public already feels. That Drake's music doesn't move people anymore. So when OVO hints that Kendrick has a ghostwriter, it's not just irony. It's hypocrisy on full display. Because everyone remembers who had the reference tracks leaked. Everyone remembers who couldn't respond when Pusha T dropped The Story of Adidon. And everyone knows that if there's one rapper who doesn't need a ghostwriter, it's Kendrick Lamar. So instead of tarnishing Kendrick credibility, Drake just reopened his own biggest wound. Behind the scenes, this rumor didn't just stay online. It quietly reached the industry, and the response was telling. No major artist backed Drake. Not a single respected lyricist, not a single credible journalist co-signed the claim. Even artists who once stood by Drake stayed silent, because associating with this kind of smear campaign is career suicide. Meanwhile, Kendrick's camp didn't say a word. No tweet, no rebuttal, nothing. That silence spoke volumes. Because when you're on top, you don't need to explain yourself to the ones reaching from below. And that's what's happening. OVO is reaching. Drake's team is throwing stones at a giant they can't touch anymore. And every time they do, they remind the world just how small they've become. At one point, OVO symbolized dominance, a cultural machine that shaped the sound of an entire era. But now, it's a factory of excuses. From lawsuits to fake streams, to social media meltdowns and recycled talking points. OVO has gone from an empire to a coping mechanism. That Kendrick didn't write it. Rumor isn't an attack. It's a confession. It tells us Drake and his camp no longer believe they can win through music, only through manipulation. But in 2025, the audience is smarter. Fans are dissecting lyrics, watching patterns, calling out hypocrisy in real time. You can't gaslight a generation that has receipts for everything. So every time OVO tries to spin a new lie, the internet immediately flips it back. And that's why Drake's credibility is now in freefall. Not because of one loss, but because of his refusal to face it. When history looks back at this moment, Drake's downfall won't just be about a beef. It'll be about what he became after the loss. A man so obsessed with perception that he tried to rewrite reality itself. A superstar who couldn't accept that his era ended not with scandal, but with exposure. Drake used to define the conversation. Now, he's reacting to it. Kendrick made him look human. And instead of growing from that, Drake has chosen to hide behind conspiracies, lawsuits, and denial. But the truth always finds a way through the noise. And when the dust settles, one thing will remain clear. Not Like Us wasn't just a diss. It was a mirror, one that showed Drake exactly who he became. And the irony is, after all his attempts to rewrite the story, the ending stays the same. Drake lost, Kendrick won, and OVO's conspiracy only made the defeat permanent. I want to know what you think. Do you think Drake actually believes these conspiracies? Or is it just his team trying to spin the loss? Thanks for watching. Remember to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and turn on notifications. And, as always, stay active.